Konnichiwa Piko Chico Koko, Senpai desu. Welcome to Art Senpai's Bizarre Background Adventure Part 2, Perspective Tendency. In Part 1, Phantom Background, I've taught you how to fake a quick background in a short amount of time with minimum effort. But let's be honest, I'm sure you kohais will agree with me that those backgrounds are not quality backgrounds. So what makes a background a quality background, and how do you draw it? Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Instead of finding references from Pinterest or Google, try heading outside yourself. Go to a cafe, a park, anywhere. Sit down and start drawing. If you want to get good at drawing backgrounds, outdoor sketching is a must. Sketching outdoors is a great way to improve your ability to translate real-life imagery into graphic pictures. You can check out this artist on YouTube. He sketches incredible anime backgrounds by using real-life environment as references. A lot of beautiful backgrounds you saw in those famous anime movies are actually based on real-life places and sceneries. For example, 5 centimeters per second, Your Name, Garden of Words, basically every Makoto Shinkai movie. It's really impressive to see how Makoto Shinkai translates real-life sceneries into anime backgrounds. The level of detail and realism in those backgrounds are just mind-blowing. Because of this, the movies are able to attract millions of international tourists to visit Japan just to see those sanctuaries. The most notable example is the staircase from Kimi no... Oops, wrong stairs. Nope. Definitely not this one.
I think I'll use the elevator. Wait, oh shit!
This is the right one. Phew. Back to the topic. Now let's say you found a perfect reference for your background that matches your character and theme. What do you do next?
Kantan desu. Just import the picture in Photoshop and you're good to go.
In order to accurately portray the perspective of the background, we need to pay attention to the following points. Firstly, we need to identify the eye level. It is extremely important because it determines the height at which you're drawing the scene. In other words, it represents the viewpoint of the viewer. In general, there are 3 levels of height: the standard eye level, the low eye level, and the high eye level. So what you can do is try taking pictures of a street at different heights and practice. Also, different eye levels determine which surface of an object is visible. For example, for anything that's drawn above the eye level, we can see the bottom surface, while anything that's drawn below the eye level, we can see the top surface. That is the reason why we must first establish the eye level when we're drawing the background. Allow me to give you another example. This drawing portrays a bird's eye view of the classroom, so we know that the eye level is set very high. But for this drawing, the ceiling could be seen, and this means that a low eye level is used. Now, I would like to explain how the height of the eye level affects the perspective of the background. Let's start with the normal eye level. When the eye level is at the middle, vertical lines are parallel. But if you tilt your camera upwards a little bit, the eye level becomes lower and the vertical lines converge upwards. Conversely, if you lower your camera, the eye level becomes higher and the vertical lines converge downwards. No, I'm not talking about the type of perspective for drawing human characters. I'm talking about the boring type of perspective for drawing backgrounds. I'm sure many of you are afraid to learn how to draw backgrounds because you think it's very complicated. It's not. Daijobu, I'm here to help. When it comes to perspective, you only need to know 2 things: the vanishing point and the horizontal line. Let's talk about the vanishing point first. So what is the vanishing point? Imagine you have a PP that is so long that it stretches to infinity. Eventually, the PP will vanish and become a dot. That dot is the vanishing point. So based on this theory, objects tend to look smaller when they are further and bigger when they are closer. Firstly, draw a horizontal line. Then, put a vanishing point on the left and another on the right, and the last one at the bottom. Next, draw 2 symmetrical lines from point A and B. The intersection points of these lines will form a 2D surface. Then, draw 3 lines from point C to represent the vertical line of the cube. The 3 lines must touch all 4 intersection points of the 2D surface. The next step is to draw 2 more symmetrical lines from point A and B, and your cube is done. The 3 points perspective is often used for buildings that are viewed from above or below. Because of these particular angles, the buildings look grander. Same as before, you start by drawing a horizontal line. Then, put a vanishing point on the left and another one on the right. Next, draw a few symmetrical lines from point A and B. And there you have it, it's done. The 2 points perspective is commonly applied in illustrations that has an angle view. It's the #1 perspective for drawing manga backgrounds and illustrations. One of the key features of 1-point perspective is all vertical lines are parallel. Besides, every line extending from the foreground to the background converge at one point, which is the vanishing point. And this point will always be on the horizontal line, which is also the standard eye level. The one-point perspective is often used for illustrations that has a frontal view like streets and school hallways. Bonus tips! The 5 points perspective is also known as the fisheye perspective. The three-dimensional space is projected onto the surface of a hemisphere. Instead of straight lines, curved lines are used to connect every intersection point. Well, the fisheye perspective is extremely difficult to master, and I don't recommend drawing this for beginners, unless you really like to draw characters that are about to go insane. When we're drawing multiple characters, all of them must follow the same eye level. For example, take a look at this illustration. The eye level is obviously here, at the height of the boobs.
Nice.
There are a total of 5 characters in this illustration, and each of them are located at different positions. Some are near, and some are far away from the camera, but their chests are on the same eye level. This character here is bent down, but if I were to straighten her torso, her chest would still be on the same eye level. So I'm going to add one more character to kind of show you how this eye level technique should be applied. The new character would appear larger because she's nearer, and most importantly, her boobs are still on the eye level. Alright, that's all for today's video. What I've taught you today is just a theory of background perspective. In the next episode, I'm going to teach you how to implement everything we've learned today into your background drawing. So stay tuned for part 3 Background Crusaders. Please drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Twitter. DM me if you want a commission from me. Alright, that's all from me. Jana, guys.